The night in Munich belonged to Portugal. After a pulsating 120 minutes of football that ended in a 2-2 draw, it was the Portuguese who held their nerve to claim the UEFA Nations League trophy. The Allianz Arena was a sea of red and green, a cauldron of noise and tension, as the final against their Iberian neighbours, Spain, went down to the wire. Every pass, every tackle, and every shot was met with a roar from the passionate supporters who had travelled to witness this historic clash. The stakes were incredibly high, with both teams desperate to etch their names into the history books and secure a major international honour. When the final whistle of extra time blew, a sense of nervous anticipation descended upon the stadium. The ultimate test of composure, a penalty shootout, was all that stood between glory and heartbreak. The players gathered in their respective huddles, tired legs and minds preparing for one last effort. For the fans, it was almost too much to bear, a cruel yet captivating way to decide such an evenly matched contest. The drama had built steadily throughout the match, and now it was reaching its absolute peak, with the fate of the Nations League title resting on the shoulders of just a few players and their goalkeepers. Cristiano Ronaldo, the team's iconic captain, was at the heart of it all. He had played his part on the pitch, and now he watched from the sidelines, urging his teammates on with every ounce of his being. The atmosphere was simply electric, charged with the hopes of two proud footballing nations. As each player stepped up to the penalty spot, you could feel the collective breath of thousands being held. This was more than just a game. It was a battle for bragging rights, a moment that would be remembered for years to come. Portugal had shown immense resilience to get to this point, and they were not about to let the opportunity slip away. And when it was all over, the eruption of joy from the Portuguese players and fans was a sight to behold. They had triumphed in the most dramatic fashion possible, winning the shootout 4-3. Tears of happiness streamed down faces in the crowd as the team raced to celebrate with their heroic goalkeeper. It was a victory forged in determination, skill, and an unbreakable team spirit. For Spain, there was only despair, the bitter taste of defeat after coming so close. But for Portugal, it was a night of pure, unadulterated celebration under the bright lights of Munich. The match itself was a thrilling encounter, a real showcase of attacking football from two of Europe's elite teams. Spain drew first blood through the ever-reliable Mikel Oyarzabal. He found the back of the net with a clinical finish, sending the Spanish supporters into a frenzy and putting his side in control of the final. Spain's midfield, orchestrated by the composed Martin Zubimendi, looked dominant in the early stages. It was Zubimendi himself who doubled their advantage, scoring a well-taken goal that seemed to put Spain firmly on the path to victory. At that moment, it looked like a long way back for Portugal. However, Portugal showed incredible character to fight their way back into the contest. They refused to be beaten. The comeback was sparked by an unlikely hero in Nuno Mendes. Known more for his defensive duties, the dynamic left-back surged forward and unleashed a powerful strike that beat the Spanish goalkeeper, breathing new life into his team and the Portuguese fans. This goal changed the momentum of the game entirely. Suddenly, Portugal were on the front foot, playing with a renewed sense of belief and purpose, pushing Spain back deep into their own half as they hunted for an equaliser. The equalising goal, when it came, was almost inevitable. It was scored by none other than Cristiano Ronaldo. With this crucial strike, he not only levelled the final but also wrote another chapter in his incredible career, netting his 131st international goal. It was a record-breaking moment from a player who continues to defy age and expectations. His goal sent the Portuguese contingent inside the Allianz Arena into delirium. However, his night ended prematurely when he was substituted later in the game due to a minor knock, leaving him to anxiously watch the remainder of the drama unfold from the bench. Nuno Mendes was a standout performer throughout the evening. The Paris Saint-Germain star was a constant threat down the left flank, contributing massively in both attack and defence. He was tireless, tracking back to make crucial tackles before launching forward to support the attack. His goal was the catalyst for the comeback, but his overall performance was a testament to his quality and importance to this Portuguese side. He, along with his PSG teammates Vitinha and Danilo Pereira, capped off a remarkable season, having recently also lifted the UEFA Champions League trophy, making this Nations League victory even sweeter. As the match moved into the nail-biting penalty shootout, every moment was magnified, and heroes were waiting to be made. For Portugal, that hero was their goalkeeper, Diogo Costa. The FC Porto man stood tall between the posts, an imposing figure ready to face the Spanish penalty takers. The pressure on his shoulders was immense, with the hopes of a nation resting on his ability to make a save. He had already made several key stops during the match, but his biggest contribution was yet to come. The tension was palpable as the shootout began, with both teams scoring their initial penalties. The pivotal moment arrived when Spain's Alvaro Morata stepped up to take his spot kick. Morata, a proven goal scorer, struck the ball with confidence, but Diogo Costa read his intentions perfectly. He dived low to his right, stretching every sinew to get a strong hand to the ball and push it away from the goal. The stadium erupted. It was a world-class save at the most critical juncture, giving Portugal a significant advantage in the shootout. His teammates rushed to him, but Costa remained focused, knowing the job was not yet done. That single act of brilliance shifted the balance of power decisively in Portugal's favour. With the advantage secured, the responsibility of scoring the winning penalty fell to Ruben Neves. The midfielder walked slowly from the centre circle to the penalty spot. The weight of expectation was enormous, but Neves looked composed, shutting out the noise and focusing only on the task at hand. He placed the ball down carefully, took a few steps back, and waited for the referee's whistle. In this moment, time seemed to stand still for everyone watching, both in the stadium and around the world. Neves ran up and coolly dispatched the penalty, sending the Spanish goalkeeper the wrong way as the ball nestled into the back of the net. The celebration was instant and explosive. Neves turned and roared in triumph before being mobbed by his ecstatic teammates, who sprinted from the halfway line to celebrate their victory. It was a moment of pure class and nerve from Neves, sealing the Nations League title for Portugal. His successful penalty was the final decisive act in a long and dramatic night, a perfect end to a grueling campaign for the Portuguese side. As Ruben Neves' penalty hit the net, the celebrations officially began. Cristiano Ronaldo, who had been anxiously watching from the technical area, sprinted onto the pitch to join his triumphant teammates. He was soon handed the UEFA Nations League trophy, and with a huge smile, he lifted it high into the Munich night sky as confetti rained down upon the champions. It was a picture of pure joy, a captain leading his country to glory once again. The entire squad gathered for photos, each player taking their turn to hoist the silverware, celebrating a hard-fought and well-deserved victory over their fiercest rivals. For Spain, it was a night of reflection and what-ifs. They had played well, controlling large parts of the game and taking a 2-goal lead. Mikel Oyarzabal, who scored the opening goal, was left to rue the result. "We are devastated," he commented after the match. "We felt we had the game in our hands, but we let it slip." To lose on penalties is the hardest way. We have to learn from this and come back stronger. Spain showed flashes of their quality, but were ultimately undone by Portugal's resilience and a moment of goalkeeping brilliance in the shootout, leaving them with the bitter taste of a runners-up medal. The victory sparked massive celebrations, not just in Munich, but all across Portugal. Fans who had gathered in squares and bars back home erupted in cheers, waving flags and singing in unison. This victory was a source of immense national pride, a testament to the talent and spirit of their national team. The players, draped in Portuguese flags, celebrated long into the night on the pitch with their families and the thousands of supporters who had created such an incredible atmosphere. It was a shared moment of happiness, a reward for the unwavering support shown throughout the tournament. This triumph marks another golden chapter for Portuguese football. For players like Nuno Mendes, Vitinha and Danilo Pereira, it was the perfect end to a season that also saw them win the Champions League with Paris Saint-Germain. For Cristiano Ronaldo, it was another major international trophy to add to his legacy. The team had shown they could win without relying solely on their superstar, demonstrating a collective strength that will serve them well in the future. As the celebrations continued, one thing was clear. On this day, June 8, 2025, Portugal stood proudly on top of European football.